With the news that they will not return to the WEC in 2024, it looks like the Glickenhaus 007 LMH has raced for the final time. So here's my ranking of every Glickenhaus WEC race. Number 12, Sebring 2023. I'll begin with an absolute stinker, Sebring this year. Glickenhaus arrived having not ran the car in 8 months, and struggled getting back up to speed and adapting to the 2023 regulation changes. They still could have made the most of a bad weekend and collected a decent chunk of points, but a mechanical failure early on left them out on the spot. Number 11, Portimao 2021. Next on our list is the team's WEC debut back in 2021. They qualified in the middle of the LMP2s, and a variety of issues in the race turned it into an extended test session. Useful data, but not a great performance. Number 10, Portimao 2023. We now move on to Portimao this year, where the pace improved from Sebring and they had a reliable run, but they still didn't have the performance to compete with their hybrid rivals. Number 9, Spa 2023. You might be noticing a theme here, as Glickenhaus improved throughout the 2023 season. Again, performance picked up and they made some good strategy calls, allowing them to pick off a major scalp as they beat both Peugeots. Number 8, Spa 2022. This one was a very hard one to place, and honestly I could move it much higher. Olivier Pla gave Glickenhaus their first WEC pole, and for the opening stint was able to stick with Toyota. However, a wrong call on tyres once the rain came changed a likely podium into an 8th place finish, so I have to dock them for that. A case of what could have been. Number 7, Sebring 2022. The 2022 season opener saw Glickenhaus qualify on the front row for the first time, and a solid race run delivered them a maiden podium finish. They weren't a threat to their hypercar rivals in the race, but kept it clean throughout, and were rewarded with a great result on home turf. Number 6, Le Mans 2023. Glickenhaus built their first 2 Le Mans based off having a clean run, but 2023 wasn't the three-peat as both cars had minor problems, including near identical accidents out of Indianapolis. They managed to bring it home in 6th and 7th, only 1 place off where a perfect run would have put them anyway. Number 5, Monza 2023. Quietly one of the strongest WEC performances this season. At their strongest circuit, Glickenhaus were on the pace and called the strategies to perfection, until Harry Tincknell stopped on track in the Proton Porsche and triggered one final safety car. They looked on for 5th place at worst, a result which a team in need of some investment could have done with massively, but this late reshuffle dropped them back to 8th. Number 4, Monza 2021. The step that Glickenhaus made from Portimao to Monza for just their second start was phenomenal, as they went up to 2 cars for the first time. They ended qualifying ahead of all the LMP2s and within a second of overall pole, and the 709 briefly led the race outright before needing a brake change that saw it fall back to 4th in the first sign that this was a team to be reckoned with. Number 3, Monza 2022. It's very strange putting a retirement in the top 3, and based on my logic for Spa 2022 this should be much lower. This one is purely for the vibes, and for giving us a street won't forget weekend. It had been 6 years since the WEC had last seen 3 different manufacturers fighting for the overall race win, and on a weekend where Peugeot's return was meant to be the focus point, it was Glickenhaus who stole all the headlines. They took pole, were in control early on, got unlucky with a drive-through being awarded just after a safety car had wiped out their lead, then just as the comeback to join the Alpine Toyota fight began, their engine went up in smoke and hearts everywhere were broken as a likely race win and move into second in the World Championship was lost. Number 2. Le Mans 2021. I'll be honest, it was a joke how some fans were previewing Glickenhaus in the build-up to their maiden Le Mans, and for someone infamous for his social media usage, Jim did all of the talking on the track. In their first start in the world's greatest motor race, Glickenhaus were in the podium fight, and brought both cars home in 4th and 5th place, without a single trip into the garage. Quite simply, one of the best Le Mans debuts I have ever witnessed, and on a fraction of the budget of manufacturers who fared much worse at their first crack. Number 1. Le Mans 2022. And for Glickenhaus's best race I have to go for their crowning moment. They returned to Le Mans in 2022 as a proven package, were closer to the pace than the year before, looking to be in the fight for pole, and were able to bring it home to finish on the overall podium, in an incredible moment which summed up everything I love about endurance racing. Now, this list is not perfect. In fact, if I wrote it again tomorrow I'd probably change it up, which is why I really want to know whether you agree with me. And I have one last thing to say. Jim, from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Without Glickenhaus, the early years of hypercar would have been very dull, and sport needs its underdogs. A privateer who took on the big guns and came away with a Le Mans podium. Someone should make a film about that. Anyone know a producer? What was your favourite Glickenhaus WEC race? Please let me know in the comments below. And whilst you're down there, why not press that like button and subscribe to the channel? It really helps me out.